Set your alarm, Ernest, you hungry.
I live with a provider man who paid all my bills. Here's what I think the 50-50 conversation is missing.
Either man that every woman is praying for. And surprisingly, she's still not happy. The caption on this post reads, I lived with a provider man who paid all my bills. Here's what I think the 50-50 conversation is missing. Let's hear it.
I was in a previous relationship with a provider man
Mm.
in which I paid $0 in living expenses or personal expenses. And I do not think that the conversation around 50-50 and women dating for money is productive or healthy for a lot of young women. I lived with my partner when I was in this relationship, and I moved into his apartment that he had already been living in. I was like 25 at the time, so I didn't even think about getting added to the lease. And I, from the jump, didn't pay a dime in shared expenses whatsoever. I would occasionally like pick up groceries, and I definitely took care of his dog. I took care of the majority of the cooking and cleaning, things like that. So there was some ways when I was like pulling my weight, but financially, no. And eventually towards the end of the relationship, he had already been paying my phone bill. He had been paying my car insurance, like any shopping money I needed, anytime we went out to eat, like all him.
This sounds like every modern woman's dream. I mean, isn't this what they all talk about? But it sounds like she's about to complain.
I eventually had quit my job with his permission because
Damn, you see them fingers, bro?
I eventually had quit my job with his permission.
Damn, she could grab a whole double quarter pounder with cheese with one hand.
Because I was just dealing with some mental health stuff, and I was a teacher, and it was just not working for me. So he had agreed that it was totally okay financially if I quit my job just for a time and figured out it like a new career path or something else to do. And so about a month or two after I quit my job, I was doing like freelance work, gig work, things like that, starting to become a journalist.
Right.
And I still wasn't making nearly enough money to provide for myself whatsoever. And he unexpectedly broke up with me out of the blue, completely blindsided me. And in that moment, when he...
I'm pretty sure there was signs. And I'm pretty sure she peeped those signs. She just chose to ignore them. Because you will be able to tell when somebody is backing off from you, or they acting different, or they about to break up with you. You'll be able to see signs. It's never out the blue. Either we choose to ignore the signs, or we are just completely oblivious to them.
Said, I want to break up. I cannot describe to you the brokenness and the emptiness and like the aloneness that I felt, because number one, I'm losing the person that I love, obviously, and I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with
Was it love, though?
my partner.
Right.
Number two, I don't have a job. I don't have anything to fall back on stability-wise. And number three, he's paying for all my shit. So it's like, what am I supposed to do now? Because we live together. I obviously have to move out and try to do it as quickly as I can because he clearly doesn't want me here anymore. So it's like, I was not set up for any kind of safety net or backup plan whatsoever. And
But here's the problem, though. You guys can't have it both ways. You can't say I want this provider man who pays for all my bills, and I want to cohabitate with the man before I marry him. You know, I want to live like we're in a marriage. You know, you don't want to be careful. You don't want to do things traditionally and still want men to traditionally provide for you. And even when you get that, you're somehow complaining because your boyfriend, who wasn't your husband, didn't set up a savings account. I don't know if it was his job to set up some type of financial net for you. Obviously, it wasn't his job. I don't get the point of this video. This chick is complaining. I don't get it.
But look, wouldn't it be like a good idea if you are a woman that's being provided for 100% to put some money to the side for a rainy day, like for the family, not for selfish reasons, but like invest for the whole future of the family. Like you, the man, if y'all got kids, like wouldn't, cause he's giving you that opportunity by providing a place for you to stay, paying all the bills, groceries, all that, bro. So wouldn't it? This is like a team sport, right? I'm providing for now, and you and I are gonna invest in the future. Like, wouldn't that be like the smartest idea? Is that what people do? I don't know. I've never been married before. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Sounds like you had a pretty good existence to me until you lost your walking wallet.
That is where I think the conversation
Sounds like that would be real love too. Like we both putting an investment into this relationship, into this potential future we could have together.
is missing a huge key piece that is so crucial, especially for vulnerable and impressionable young women in this economy. Believe me, I am as radical, angry, leftist feminist as they come. I totally agree that we live in an extremely inequitable, patriarchal society where women are so oppressed.
I hate hearing these words. Patriarchal society, oppressed. Like, so what is the outcome of what is it, matriarchy? What does that even look like? You know what I'm saying? What does that produce? Who does that help? Like, and this is not me asking in a malicious way. This is like, for real, like, what's the outcomes of a matriarchy? Like, what's, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because you gotta think, all of these platforms that they complain on, and correct me if I'm wrong, but all of these platforms that they complain on, weren't they made by men? Aren't they maintained by mostly men? Like, like, and you got the freedom to even say stuff like this. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because what if it was a matriarchy, right? Eventually, and this is one trend I started noticing too. I started noticing this a few years ago. Women are gonna start attacking other women. It's not gonna be man versus women. It's gonna be women having problems with other women. Women disagreeing with other women. Pretty soon they just gonna have problems with each other. We gonna be out the picture all together. She gonna have a problem with her. Then it's gonna be subsections of a matriarchal society. Like, it's never gonna end. They're never gonna be satisfied. Just think of a man always trying to please a woman. That woman is never gonna be satisfied. So just think a whole society of women that are never gonna be satisfied no matter how much you give them. So, like, what is the outcome of a matriarchy, dog? I don't know, bro. Am I making sense? I don't know, man.
In so many ways, and the wage gap is real.
This is just me shooting off the hip. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
The woman who did not pay for any bills is talking about oppression.
That part too.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm a sex and relationships journalist. I've written sex and dating content for sites like Bustle, Refinery 29, Cosmopolitan, Women's Health, Well and Good, Pop Sugar, BBC, so many others. And I've come up with 10 dating app opening lines I recommend for you to use on apps like Bumble or Tinder.
Engaged or soon-to-be married men. Getting a prenup doesn't have to be English. About feel over way more clicking the.
Oh, man.
That emotional and domestic labor is so inequitable, especially when it comes to women living with men. So I get it. Trust me. And I fully think that it is perfectly okay for women and men to have a mutually agreed upon, like, providership relationship, whether it's an SD type or whether it's like a legit romantic partnership. Whatever floats your boat, I totally am down with. However, you need to have a backup plan in place. Take it from me. This is especially true if you are like me and you're
an agreed upon backup plan. I think that's the part that they're not saying. I think everybody needs to agree on whatever this backup plan is. It can't just be something separate, because then it's not a backup plan, it's an escape plan. And planning for what? How does shit go? I forgot how the term go. Planning for failure equals fail. Something I don't know, but yeah, everybody should know what's going on.
30s or older, and you are kind of like educating young women about the idea of like a providership or being in a relationship with like an older man or a man who makes a lot more money, who just has more resources. Like, all of the men that I've dated have been older. All of the men that I've dated have had significantly more income than I did. However, now I know from that relationship on, I have never put myself in a position where I was relying on those men financially. And if I ever would again, I would have so many backup plans in place. I would have separate savings accounts that they do not have access to. I would have investment accounts that they pour into that they do not have access to. Like nothing that.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, I'm pouring my money into your investment account, but I don't have access to it. Like, that's bullshit, bro. We supposed to be doing this for our future, not your escape plan. You know what I'm saying?
And can up for you or you over with should exist in that relationship. Like, especially if you don't have a job or any other source of your own personal income, you've gotta not give that man a single inch when it comes to.
This is not love, by the way. Nothing she's saying is love. She didn't love that man. If he stopped providing for her, she would have left him anyway if he didn't break up with her. That's not love. Her whole being is not love, bro. But that's a whole nother topic.
Room for your life up financially.
So the man who was taking care of you in the relationship that you chose to put yourself in effed you over financially, you, a grown woman. Come on.
So
I told you can never please them. They're never going to be satisfied. He gave her everything, and she complaining because she said he screwed her over financially. That's your own fault. You should have been doing something with that time. All that free time you had to do something to make some money. You know what I'm saying? He provided for you. You had all the time in the world to create some sort of income, but you ain't got nothing.
I got sent to the psych ward. My polyamorous ex and I got into a screaming match while I was sitting in the hospital. So this ex and I were polyamorous for the majority of our relationship, and then the last couple months we were monogamous by choice. And then one day, randomly, unexpectedly, on his lunch break, he comes home from the office and sits me down and is just like, we should break up. And then he leaves. So I'm blindsided.
And you know that's not the full story. When women tell a story, just know that they're leaving a lot of parts out.
No idea that was coming. There was like literally no indication that was going to happen. He's like the love of my life. I think we're going to get married and have kids. So then, of course, the rug is ripped out from under me that way. But then a month prior, with his blessing, because he made plenty of money, so it was like bills were never an issue, he had let me quit my teaching job because it was absolutely destroying my mental health. I was not meant to be in education, all that stuff. So then I have no health insurance, I have no income, I have no money, I have no stability. My mental health is already bad enough, but then I'm also like healing from that like burnout and like trauma from what I experienced at the school. And then he breaks up with me. So then I'm like, wow, I really have nothing to fucking live for at this point.
She's looking for a high earn.
But look, it's another reason why a matriarchy would be unpredictable, because the goalposts would keep moving. It would be no concrete set of standards. It's gonna change based off of feelings and emotions. You just heard how she ran down all of that trauma, the drama she had to deal with her job. Her shoulders wasn't meant for weight. Her shoulders wasn't meant to have the weight of the world on it. You know what I'm saying?
Who's going to build your retirement and going to make sure you're financially stable just in case you try to leave him. Like, that's where this seems to be inspired from, which is why, of course, I say, men, protect yourself. Top commenter says, my husband is a provider husband, but I will always have something to protect me. Didn't move in until we got married. See, that's how you do it. I don't get how she can decide to move in with the boyfriend and expect him to provide for her after they break up. Goes on to say, we'll always have thousands of dollars in savings since I don't pay for anything in the household except small things here and there because I chose to. I have my master's, so we'll always have something to fall back on. I always felt a woman can be with a powerful man as long as they have something to fall back on, if or when they choose to leave you for something better. Usually happens the other way around, but okay.
If you're in a relationship and you've recently wondered whether you are settling, you are. Even having the urge to ask yourself or anyone else in your life whether you're settling or if this is just as good as it gets is everything you need to know about the current state of your relationship.
Think about it this way. If romance and sex were not involved at all in your relationship with your partner and you were just friends,
I hate that word partner so much.
number one, would they be a good friend to you? And number two, would you even want to be their friend? Or think about it this way. If somebody honestly described you the exact way you would honestly describe your partner, would you be flattered or would you be horrified?
Somebody else, she says, the point of letting a man pay for all your bills is so you can stack up your bread and completely focus on you. I like, this is toxic behavior here. And you need to know as a man that there are women out here who think like this, that they're looking for a sucker who can pay all their bills while they get themselves in order, and then they can come up on top in the very end. Very hard to do if you have a prenup, of course. Somebody else who says, always have enough to be alone if anything happens. There's nothing wrong with having someone to protect yourself, and a good prenuptial agreement would do that. But what these chicks here are mostly talking about is just robbery. Somebody else who says, I refuse to settle for a man who isn't a provider. However, I'm also a firm believer in having your own money as well. Another person who says, always have your own. My husband pays everything, but you better believe I'm good. Please share your thoughts. Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod to my currently engaged or soon to be married men. If you need...
All right, let me see what y'all talking about in the comments, man. Guy woke up one day and said, damn, I need to get my life in order and drop 250 pounds. Damn. It's extremely rare for a man to break up with a woman out of the blue. She's all cap. 100 is not a partnership. Bro, we got to kill this word partner, bro. It just sounds so dirty and so wrong, bro. I don't know why. I just don't like that word. It's like it's replacing a word that's supposed to be there, and partner is not supposed to be there. I don't know, man. I don't know why I don't like that word, man. If there's one thing I've learned about women talking about their relationship, is not to take what they say at face value. They mostly embellish the story and make themselves look better than they are in reality. Look at her. Just look at her. That's what the comments said, not me. So she wasn't saving anything while he was paying for everything. She probably did not appreciate him, hence he got fed up and kicked her out. She probably was eating all the food in the cabinets, man. Okay, she calls him partner and also is in poly. The more she talks, the more she is for the streets. She gets no coffee. She provided no value. If she was cooking, cleaning, and providing peace, she would still be there. No value. If you look at her, we can assume she's lying. Damn, y'all on her ass, bruh. She needs to stop lying. She said she did not pay anything. What did she do with her money? She ain't had no money, bruh. But look, man. Y'all like the video. Like, like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all be safe. I'm out.
Bruh, you recording?